What's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, Nestlemania alongside for the right is a man that sells Jobber Knocker merchandise, but never gives me a cut. JC.
Yeah, why would I do that? Because literally, if I put your name or your face on something, I'm gonna have to pay people to take it.
Pay. Well, we talk about this in the program that nobody likes a face shirt, so I get that. I get that very much. But
Most of it's this face.
No, I think we have a who the fuck is that a milk carton shirt? I don't think that's ever gonna sell. So you're just gonna freeze frame on me for the next hour? It'd be great.
Yeah, I might. Because this week, honestly, Nestlemania, it's kind of a nothing week. I mean, Monday Night Raw, like there were some weather issues, but they also knew they were up against NFL football and whatever award show was on Monday. SmackDown, well, they just kind of go through the motions anyways. So it'll be interesting to see how the show goes.
It was a tough watch for everybody, I think, this week. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff going on, but there was also some stuff that I was just like, what is that?
Stamps. Stamped it this week, baby. But we don't stamp it here on the Jobber Knocker podcast. Next week, we got our Royal Rumble hopes and all the fun stuff with the Royal Rumble. We're not there yet, but we don't mail this shit in, bro. We start in the shine. Because always in the shine. Mandy Rose, maybe she'll be back next week. Probably going to be a JC Hope. Spoiler alert. But we're going to start with the other apple of JC's eye, and that is Cody Rhodes, because there's adrenaline in his soul. He's ready for the Royal Rumble, and a man with a big schlonny sword had some problems with that. And Nestlemania, to me, this was kind of the highlight of Raw. You have two contenders in the men's Royal Rumble going head-to-head, a feud that we expect to happen at some point, probably before WrestleMania. And then also next week, we have Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. We'll get to that, but I kind of love this. We got the big dogs barking at each other, getting ready to see who gets to finish their story at WrestleMania.
So it's interesting to me because I was like, okay, it's a Cody Rhodes promo. Everybody loves Cody Rhodes. There's a shirt. I don't know if you saw this on 83 Weeks. So they says Cody is already the guy. Because a lot of people are saying he's not the guy because he hasn't won the championship. But if
that's what Cody himself has said. He said, I can't be a king without a crown. And I say, Cody, you're a king to me, but I want you to get that motherfucking crown anyways. So
it is important, I think, for him to be like he did say a long time ago. John Cena said you can still be the champion without the title. So if you watch Monday Night Raw, he is portrayed as more important than anybody else on Monday Night Raw. So
who was the Jobber Knocker Superstar of the Year in 2023?
Cody Rhodes.
Who was the Jobber Knocker Superstar of the Year in 2022?
Cody Rhodes.
There we go. Who's going to be the Jobber Knocker Superstar of the Year in 2024? By God, I hope it's Cody Rhodes.
R-Truth. That's what I'm.
Yeah, I mean, it might be at this rate.
But listen, I love what the Mac's doing. I love his pompadour looking mullet that he wears now with no wet hair. It's like, it looks like somebody just like put a wig on him. I love it. That's fun. And then of course they talk about like, you know, just back and forth. The last time they wrestled, who won the last match, they made that apparent, but they're not gonna be able to show the video. So I don't know why they brought it up, but whatever. And then the part that I love about Cody was, you know, he's like, where I worry about is I look inside here, my heart, and I look inside to the crowd. And I was just like, okay, well, this guy is clearly like, Drew was trying to turn him and it didn't work. And Cody was like, fuck you, I'm going to do it my way. I would see this as a nice stopgap. I would even go as far as when Elimination Chamber happens, it'll be 3 Raw, 3 SmackDown, and it'll come down to the Mac and Cody. I would even go additionally as far to say, I think Cody's being eliminated by the Mac at Royal Rumble, hands down. There's you can get more heat on Drew by eliminating the guy we want to finish the story. And if you get anybody else in there to throw him out, it won't matter. Drew is, to me, the best heel that they have going right now, which is insane to me, considering all the people they have and how much I've turned face on it. Like, it's unbelievable, but Drew McIntyre needs it. He's not going to win, but man, it's fascinating to watch because it's like there's so many people who could finish their story or start their story, continue their story. This is the first time I think I've ever watched the Royal Rumble, thinking to myself, like, there's like 5 to 10 people that could potentially really have a reason for winning here. And I don't think that's ever been the case in the 30 plus years that they've done this.
It definitely, like, there's always been an argument. I mean, last year was pretty obvious. We all knew, assuming, that one seemed pretty obvious, but there are years here and there where it's definitely up in the air. But so what? You're not pro like Shinsuke getting revenge and continuing that feud by eliminating Cody?
I'm putting it out into the universe that if Shinsuke Nakamura throws him out, I'm gonna just my face is gonna melt because
I might turn it off if that happens.
No, don't do that. But you can go. So here's the thing. You got so excited when you tore your ankle or your quad or your calf is what you did.
Yeah, my calf.
But then of course you hurt yourself. When he wins the WWE Championship from Roman Reigns, I got to see the celebration. Like, I don't even know what you're gonna do.
I'm probably gonna cry, if we're being honest, because Cody's gonna start crying. And when I see other people that I like cry, that's like fucking. There's no control. There's no control of what goes on behind these eyelids. Those ducks just get moist and they flood, baby.
Quack, quack. Our boy Danny Grimwood from overseas. I just like saying from overseas. Not many people have mentioned Brock for the Rumble, but I could imagine he could eliminate Cody as well. Now, look, I agree with you on most of that. However, they kind of squashed their beef.
Yeah, they're best buds now.
So, I mean,
they'll probably be tag team champions in a side quest.
Oh, don't even start with that bullshit. But it's hard. I mean, Brock will come back. If Brock and Gunther happen, I'm going to be I'm going to be full chub from January to April. I will be walking around with a constant wrestle boner if I know I'm getting that fucking match. He has to lose the Intercontinental title before that, though. I don't think Brock doesn't get
I would love to see Brock challenge for the Intercontinental title.
I don't think that matters to Brock Lesnar. Like, he doesn't.
I think it would be cool. I think in this is the one scenario where it would, because this is the longest guy ever who's fucking unbeatable, and Brock would be like, "Fuck you, asshole. I'm going to beat you and your title."
And then we'll have Roman Reigns with a championship that will never be defended and show up. Then Logan Paul with the United States, and then Brock. It'll be like every champion will show up whenever they want.
They should give the women's championship to Charlotte as she rehabs.
That's true. That's true. Everybody's just going to have titles that never get defended.
It'll be like AEW.
Ooh, hot on the collar. But no, like I said, hot start to Monday Night Raw for as hard as it could possibly be. Anything else that you thought was very, very positive this week, JC?
Yeah, much like R-Truth Nestlemania, I'm an earner for this program. I earn us the views, the clicks, baby. Yeah, R-Truth just being R-Truth, man. It's one of those things, like, they've just continued to drag this Judgment Day thing out. It's still fun. His segment was Priest was just fucking great. Them just pull out the money, and then they start the match. The money goes everywhere. He starts handing it to Finn. He gives it to Dom. It was funny. It was like an absolute, like, haha match completely. But it just, like, it worked for what it was. It was what it needed to be. And it feels like, though, that this we're like near the end of this. It feels like it's time to maybe turn the page and get Judgment Day more serious. But I thought this was a nice payoff this week.
I don't think they're gonna hate where R-Truth is right now, because he's the top earner this week, or last week, excuse me. When it came to merchandise sales, especially that T-shirt with the and R-Truth, and even poor JD's not even on that T-shirt, and he's in the group.
That makes the bit even better.
Yeah, but I feel like it's the Sami Zayn effect. It's similar. It's not the same, because Sami Zayn was a credible person to go against Roman Reigns, but it's like I've talked about weeks ago. It just seems like they have to interject some comedy or some lightheartedness into these factions for them to have some longevity and kind of take them, because I feel like we were ready to see the Judgment Day crumble after War Games. You know what I mean? And then
we've been saying it all year, man.
But like, it just feels like it almost feels like the Judgment Day might be the cockroaches of the faction world. Like, they just don't die. They just keep going. And it's like, okay, we know Rhea's doing her thing. We know Priest is doing her thing. Finn's always going to be Finn. Dom's going to be Dom. JD's doing good work. There's nothing he's doing wrong. And as a matter of fact, I would put him in the shine right now.
Yeah, match of the week. Match of the week.
His match with Dom and the DIY guy. Was it DIY?
We are
Besides,
We are.
besides that god awful fucking theme song, and I got a text message from the Joe Stopper, so because he's not in our thread anymore because he's off Twitter, but he said to me, he had said, "Brie mode greater than
Oh,
DIY
no.
theme,"
But
and I
it's
was like,
close. But
"It's
no,
close."
nothing's more cringe than Fremont. I hear that in my fucking nightmares, and not the American kind.
That is where they when you send to hell and you get locked in a fucking jail cell and they play the same song over and over and over again. It's Brie mode. It's absolutely Brie mode. I'm
My
100%.
head would spontaneously combust from hearing that song over and over again.
Yeah, it's too poppy for me in terms of like just sprinkle some nonsense and some garbage and maybe some sparkling, maybe some glitter. But sorry, but JD did a great job in that matchup. I just wanted to give him a special shout out to JD McDonough because I'm not necessarily I'm not saying I'm not a fan of him, but I'm kind of like he is a good wrestler and I enjoy his work, but he's not a Nestle guy, so sky's the limit for him when I say that.
You know
Uh,
why?
why? Because he's small.
Because you're a size shamer.
There it is. There it is. He does have alligator arms though, so he probably doesn't leave a good tip. Probably never leaves a tip. That's beside the point. But I will say this
Because our
much.
truth won't give him any money.
That's true. Very true. It's because he's poor. But no, but he does the little things well with like the heel tactics and the cheating, and he really understands the role of being a shithead, and he does a great job doing it. And then he takes fucking moves phenomenally. I just love it. He's so good at his role. And we talked about it last week, the Dolph Ziggler-ish role and whatever, but he does such an amazing job going forward. And it's just Dom can do whatever the hell he wants. So JD does all the legwork and it works perfectly, absolutely perfectly. So I just think he does a great job. He might be right now, to me, he's the MVP of Monday Night Raw. That's for me. Like the unsung hero of
He's
Monday
definitely
Night Raw.
the workhorse. I mean, him and Dom in general are the workhorses. They're like between tag team matches and the singles matches they do, and the way they've made people look the past 6 months. Like, I absolutely love this match. This is what DIY needed. This is what we've talked about with DIY. Like, let them put in a showcase in the ring because you see it when you watch a DIY match. You watch the crowd get more and more and more into it, and by the end, like they're going nuts for these guys, and that's how you build this team. We've hammered it on this podcast, and I mean JD and Dom are perfect dance partners, and the heat Dom gets and everything. So to me, this was the highlight in terms of match of the week for me in WWE for sure.
That's true. And if they just fix that garbage theme, I think everybody, but Little Rock was on fire for them. So, I mean, like, I think this was the first time where I was like, okay, all it takes is an audience to be really invested in DIY for then the television audience to really understand DIY. And then it's contagious, hopefully every week as DIY wrestles. And then they, incrementally climb that ladder. And I'm hoping that they're the people that take the belts off the Judgment Day. It seems logical at this point that they would be the guys to do it because they would be on TV every week. And then, maybe some other tag teams, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anything else that you thought was very positive?
Yes. I don't know about you, but I love. Oh yeah, but I love that Tozawa won a match, and not only did he win a match, he won a jobber alert against Ivar, thanks to Maxine doing a little shimmy, yeah. But I mean, this is great. I mean, this was the fun part, and obviously the Vikings get their stuff back right after the match when Valhalla and Ivar beat the living piss at Tozawa and Maxine. Sets up the 2 matches for next week that we'll get to later, but. This is a lot of fun, man. Credit to Ivar, just the feud with the Alpha Academy has been fun. This has been a fun month or however long this has been going. They've been good quality matches. This one was obviously a little shorter, but it's what needed to happen. It was kind of the payoff to this Tozawa role, and I thought it was cool.
See, this is the difference between WWE and everything else, I think, because we've talked about this on this program about 50-50 booking a lot. We've talked about all sorts of things. But with WWE, a man like Tozawa can win that quick jobber alert with, the ass shaking. And then all of a sudden he gets fucking jumped. And the last thing you see isn't Tozawa winning. It's Tozawa getting his fucking ass handed to him. And then Maxine looking like a fucking bike and a train and any type of vehicle hit her with fucking Valhalla and all that bullshit. That's what they do. It's just like wins can happen, but it's not the most important part of the story. And I think that's the difference when I watch anything else, whether it's AEW, TNA, local indie stuff. It's just like there's a winner. There's always a winner. They raise their hand and yada, yada, yada. But with WWE, the story continues. It always continues. And I think if people take that and use that going forward, they'd have a more successful business because just having wins and losses all the time to me is just it's kind of boring. And when I jumped out of my bed almost because I was so excited for Tozawa. And of course, previously what she was doing. And then of course, then fucking, Ivar just does what Ivar does and eats everybody like a ham sandwich. And I was like, this was wonderful. I like, again, a throwaway thing that shouldn't mattered. And I love that. I think that that's a great use of time and effort on everybody's part.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it was a lot of fun. It was simple, but it's the formula. It's like we talk about all the time. Like sometimes in a loss, you can look better than you did a win. Like that's what this was, and it keeps stuff going. So it's something that is definitely lacking from other shows, but that's why WWE's number one. That's why that the entertainment part is important, but it's also like, yeah, you can give someone a big win, but it's also like Ivar and Valhalla, who's coming, has a big win as well.
So something else you said that was interesting to me was a loss makes you look better. I'm going to go over to Monday Night Raw and stay on Monday Night Raw rather. And Xavier Woods returns, has a great match against Ludwig. I didn't even care about the outcome of the match. It was what after the fucking match happened again for the second week in a row. Ludwig looks like a stud. And then, of course, Xavier Woods is such an underrated human being as well as a wrestler. And then seeing the gums bleeding and the hair just all over the goddamn place. And these two just beating the fucking piss out of each other and taking it to another level. Like, I'm going to get my pound of flesh no matter what. Like, it didn't matter if there was a win or a loss there. It didn't matter. Like, DQ, count out, or pinfall submission. It doesn't matter. What matters is the story. Again, like this, Xavier Woods needs an edge every once in a while. Then when I watched that, I went, nice. And then they had a promo backstage where they fucking kept going and he fucking laid into each other. And I just thought, again, something that's a C-level feud that is not going to be the top of everybody's, mind, but is so entertaining. And all it took was an accident that happened a couple weeks ago to Vinci, unfortunately, and it spawned something creatively, and all these people now have something to do, and that's where they take control of the narrative, and I love it. I think it's wonderful that they can make something out of nothing. Not everybody does that.
You said control your narrative. And
I know. And the minute I said it, I know.
It made me chuckle, but I mean, I agree. I love Ludwig. He's a stud. I love the recognition he got from Gunther for having this side. This is what Gunther's been looking for. He's been looking for his boys, his guys, his fellow Imperium mates to be more like him. Just have that physical, that raw violence and everything. And we love the switch that's been in Ludwig. And obviously the New Day, great dance partners. It's going to set up, obviously, when Kofi and Vinci return to be even better. Gunther's in the Rumble where he needs to be, another big star in the very loaded Rumble. So, yeah, I mean, look, I kind of said there wasn't nothing weak, but we've talked about some good things that have really happened here. But I don't really have much more on Raw. I don't know if you do, but there was one thing on SmackDown I do want to put in the shine. Usually, like exclusively, this stuff we always put in the heat. We never get there, but I want to kind of highlight this week because I thought we got good in-ring work and I thought we got good storytelling, and that was the Bianca and Bayley stuff with Damage Control. I thought this match was good. They gave them time. Bianca and Bayley have always had good chemistry. But the big thing to me is the story that's coming out of it. Damage Control continuing to not help Bayley. And like Bayley giving them opportunities to help her kind of cheat during the match and them not taking it. And Dakota being like, oh, we thought you want to do it like on their own. But it's like, we all see what's going on here. And we're just like, Bayley, how do you not see it? It's obviously leading to whatever's going to happen in the Rumble, which I think is exciting. But I'm finally looking at this faction, Damage Control, which has just been a black eye of the programming since it's been there. And with mostly negativity after the debut, it's just been a straight downfall and just kind of stayed there. But I'm looking, I'm like, okay, this is starting to make sense. I'm interested in this. Bayley and Io is always what I want to get to. We're finally slowly taking those slow burns towards that. And we're getting some good wrestling along the way. So to me, it's nice to actually put this stuff in the shine for once.
So it's interesting because I was watching it, and again, there's nothing wrong with the match, I guess. I just felt like I was fatigued by it. Felt like, again, we talk about SmackDown in the women's division. It felt like Bayley and this past year, Bayley and Bianca have wrestled, it feels like 14 times. It's unreal how many times they've intersected. And I was just done with it. I didn't mind it.
That was actually 2 years ago.
Okay. It feels like
it was the year before, like when Bianca was champion, before Io was champion.
Okay. It just feels like that's just been on like a binge for a very long time. So for me, I don't care for it. I just want to move on from it. At least, you know what I mean? Like I want to get to the Io stuff, but you do bring up a really good point though. It does make me think Bayley should win the Royal Rumble, But now, as a fan, I'm interested even more in the Women's Royal Rumble because I'm thinking to myself, there's a chance that they try to help her, or she asks for help and then accidentally gets eliminated, and then we're off to the races. Then it's the
Or they
long.
just full on turning her in the Royal Rumble.
That's true, very true. I don't think Io's going to be in it, but the rest of them.
No, but all her compadres will be. Kyrie and Asuka will be. So
yeah, it's interesting because I thought it was going to be a foregone conclusion that she was going to win because it seems like the best thing you can do. But
it feels like it has to be her or Becky because those we feel like are the two challengers at Mania, but you never know.
So I'm going to go to the Heat now, if that's okay with you. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. So Becky interrupts a Rhea promo, which again, she says this line that I was like, okay, I get it. She says, I think you might be better than me and I have to prove it. And I was like, okay, that's an interesting line. That's an interesting throw into there. And I was like, okay, I can bite that. But between Nia Jax and Becky and these other women coming out and being like, when I win, I'm choosing you. It's almost to me as if it's like, well, fucking, we know they ain't winning because the whole point of the Royal Rumble is who will they choose and what will they do next? And they can't just blow their load. Like, I feel like it's basically telling us don't pick them. Like, they're not even fucking, like, they're going to be a big part of WrestleMania, but they ain't winning the Royal Rumble. And I hate when people do that because I feel like it's happened like 2 or 3 times already. And within like a month or 6 weeks, it just feels like they're doing it too often. And I get what they're trying to do, but you don't need to drum up that much business for the Royal Rumble. It's where the casual comes back. It just is. So I don't understand the logic in it. I thought it was very odd because I feel like for the most part, Rhea Ripley has had kind of a reign, in my opinion. I think it's been kind of a shit reign. And again, not her fault. I just think she hasn't had the dance partners to back up how good she is. And I don't know if we're going to get there before, WrestleMania. Like, I guarantee she'll have a big match in Perth because, hello, home country. But I don't know. I don't know what you think about all this.
Yeah, I'll be honest. So, as you know, especially when I work on Mondays when the C's play, I get home and I start watching Raw. And at some point, I usually fall asleep just out of tiredness. Usually it's or Seth or Drew put me to sleep really quick. But eventually, like the attrition of watching gets me. And this was towards the back half. It was probably the top of the 10 o'clock hour, maybe. And yeah, I faded completely during this promo. Fell asleep, woke up as it was ending, turned off the TV, went to bed. Never rewound, so I have no fucking idea what happened, but it couldn't have been that good.
No, it felt like it went on and on and on and on. And I think that's kind of the thing.
I don't mind the idea of the tease, though, because it's Rumble season. Like, you want to tease all these things. It's just like with Cody and Drew, and you're going to have Cody and Punk next week, and we had Drew and Punk. Like, you want to tease all these, like, big things, but it just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I just think for one reason or another, it's like, okay, CM Punk's winning this year's Royal Rumble for the most part in my brain, right? That would be my pick. And then you wonder, you think he'd pick Rollins, right? That makes sense. But you kind of want to see if he picks Roman Reigns just to fuck with the system. So there's interest. I know, but he hasn't outright forthright come out and been like, I'm going to pick Seth. He kind of like toyed with the idea, but he said, maybe I'll pick you. And I just think there's a difference between it. But again, splitting hairs, but I just feel like sometimes they don't do themselves justice with it. So it does bother me just a tad. I'm curious how you feel about stuff on SmackDown. You didn't really talk about a lot of SmackDown stuff.
I only talked about the only part of the show that I enjoyed.
Okay. Sounds like quick heats to me.
Let's do it, baby.
All right, let's start from the top and work our way down. Austin Theory and Waller come out, and of course the Bloodline jumps after a video package, and then nothing fucking happens from that. So then they fucking decide they have a 6-man tag. Holla, holla, holla. Find a partner, brother. And there we go. Off to the races is a fucking snooze fest of a thread for the rest of the fucking show for me when I hear 6-man tag, 6 anything tag. Good night for Nestlemania.
Hey, you didn't get a 6-man tag, Adam. That should be shine for you.
Who the fuck is Adam?
You got a 2-on-2 match. I was so confused.
They protect Randy Orton so
I know,
much.
but it's just like, okay, it's supposed to be a handicap match, but then like Orton just isn't there. I'm like, the fuck is going on? This was fucking dog shit. This was a waste of time. This is why, like, it sucks. Like, again, I know why they're doing the Fatal 4-Way because you're taking the 3 Roman contenders because this is like the last date he might work for WrestleMania, and you're giving them all their chance now, and it'll keep all 3 of them out of the Rumble, you would think, assuming Roman goes on last like normal. So you avoid the chance in the Rumble for LA Knight and stuff. But man, the fucking lead up has been fucking lazy and shitty.
It's just difficult. I mean, I like what Nick Aldis is doing. I like that he comes, and stands across the ring and does his thing and whatever. I think he's doing his part. There's nothing wrong with Nick Aldis. Like we talked about, the wheels fell off after WrestleMania 39. There's no debating that. I don't want to have a conversation with Roman Reigns or Paul Heyman or anybody else saying like, well, then you just don't get it. It's like, no, if the entire population of wrestling fans have decided that we don't want to deal with the bloodline from WrestleMania 39 to 40, then you're the ones that are doing it incorrectly. That's just how I feel about it. Do I want to see Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns? Absolutely. Should have been last year. But if it's not this year, I'm going to be beside myself because
you're going to be beside yourself. What do you think I'm going to be like?
I mean, I'm going to have to tie you down to the couch. I'm going to be worried about you.
I might drive to Stamford and give Triple H a piece of my mind in person. I'll be doing the fucking podcast from the cell for the next 30 years. Me and Dom. I'm going to have a fucking teardrop tattoo just like him.
Jesus Christ. Moving on, we have let me see. Moving on, I can't even talk. We had the Humberto and Angel against the other two and whatever. And the bad guys win because they're brand new on the spot. Again, decent match, whatever. But again, like those 4 people in that match, I don't care. Like it just felt like there's nothing you can do to make me care about them. So I want to see Carlito and Santos. That's it. I don't care about the other 4. Like that's it. So it was just kind of like whatever. Then they had fucking, backstage Mello and Theory and whatever. It's a decent promo. But like, as we talked about, fucking, they had their match and God damn it. Thank God we know Mello's okay because he's wrestling as we speak or as we started this program, as we talked about. But that dumbass fucking move.
A-Town went down.
It was the stupidest fucking
It's Adam. It's not ballet.
Who the fuck
These are
is
2
Adam?
of the better wrestlers on the roster. 2 of the better athletes. They probably practiced move a million times. People make mistakes. It's called high risk for a reason. That's why they say don't try this at home. I don't know if you fucking watched the Buffalo tailgate this week, but you had people doing fucking triple jumps off giant snowbanks and the flaming tables, looking like they're gonna break their fucking necks. Those are the people you need to give the speech to, not Carmelo Hayes and Austin Theory. Shit happens. It sucks. I'm glad they're both seem to be okay. It's dangerous. It comes in the fucking, it comes with the territory, baby. That's why it's called high risk. But the difference between WWE and that other fucking show is when WWE does it, it's to make an impact. They don't do it 30 times a match and botch it like the other idiots. But it happens, Adam. It's not ballet. If you want to go watch some ballet, you can watch some fucking spinnies with some tippy toes and fucking whatever the fuck happens there with some little like violin music. But I rather listen to DIY's theme song.
No, you're so fucking full of shit. You are so full of shit. It's coming out your fucking ears. Honest to God. Listen, I think it was a dumbass move. Honestly, even if it's done nicely, it still looks like fucking stupid. I don't care. I don't like it. I just don't. There's no need for it. There's no need. Like, no, I'm just saying there's no need for it. They're stupid for doing it. They could have seriously hurt themselves. They don't need it. They were going to be just fine anyway. So again,
nerd.
We're finding so many things that happen in the middle of fucking matches and they just stop them. Thank God. But we need to fucking calm the fuck down with these fucking moves. That's all I'm saying about it. Moving on to something else.
No fun.
Yeah, that's what I am, of course. I did get excited, but they're teasing it too much. They tried to make the NXT PC look like a fucking coffee house, which, whatever, it is what it is. You're not fucking fooling anybody with those steel grates in the background. What fucking coffee house do you go to that has high top tables and a fucking steel grate behind them? I'm like, give me a fucking break.
Could be some hipster place.
Tyler Bate. But, and it wasn't Tyler Bates' problem, but I was like, okay, we're getting to Pete. We're getting to Pete Dunne. It's just going to take us forever to get there. It just seems like just fucking call him Pete Dunne. You're dragging it out. It's like, you seem like you're not yourself. And it's just, okay, great. Just fucking call him Pete Dunne. Let's get it over with. Let's get them fucking going. Like, I get it, but I just want my Pete Dunne to be Pete Dunne. And I want to see Tyler Bate wrestle. I don't want to see Tyler Bate talk. I want to see Tyler Bate wrestle. It's what he's fucking good at.
You don't talk about meditation?
I mean, I meditate myself. I used to anyway. I probably should do more of it because then I'd be probably more calm. Hey, you know what? You have toddlers and you tell me if you can calm down. All right. I deal with you every week. I should be ready for toddlers. I was not. Moving on to
Toddlers are more
some.
mature than you are.
Well, that's not debatable. Anyway, moving on to something else that I thought was kind of a huh. So we're gonna have a game called Which Faction Sounds Better, the Pride or the Final Testament? JC, you have the floor.
I like the Final Testament. I'm all in, baby. I'm all in to write some books and author some pain, baby.
When I saw the Final Testament, I was just like, it is better, but is the Pride about like cubs and lions and shit? Like, is that what the Pride is about? Like, I'm trying to figure out what it is. Do you even know?
Assuming it's Black Pride. I don't know.
I thought the Pride was
That
about
was
like
my
a pack of
assumption.
lions. That's what
It
I
could
thought.
be. I'm sure they'll have some weird ass promo to fucking explain it. But
I was in my head. I'm like thinking about like trying to think about if Michael Cole or anybody, or was it Patrick or whatever his name is, like
yeah,
KP.
Michael Cole, R.I.P. on SmackDown.
So it's like he's gonna be like, and the Pride. It's like I don't get. But the Final Testament sounds way more badass, and I was just like,
Yeah.
all right.
Final Testament. They look like they could be called the Final Testament. It makes sense.
And the other thing too is like they'll probably have some badass T-shirts too, like, and they won't look like wrestling T-shirts with the name like the Final Testament. Like the Pride is like, and all right, it'll be golden and it'll be bump bump bump, but like I don't know. I think the Final Testament
what?
bump bump bump. What? I love Bobby's song. I love Bobby's song. What can I say? But I just thought I thought the Pride is such a shitty fucking name. Like you could have called them anything, and you came up with the Pride, and it just makes.
I would have called them the Hurt Business, but that's just me.
It was fucking amazing. But the Final Testament, like, it breathes life, right? It breathes life right into them. And I think that's what they need. So, I mean, I think the ceiling is only so high for all of those people, but Final Testament.
Factions in WWE until they add your favorite 6-man titles, you know?
Don't even fuck with me, Josh.
Who the fuck is Josh?
I don't know.
You always bring this dude up. Are you talking about like Josh Matthews, the guy who used to commentate?
No, I'm talking about Josh from Blue's Clues. That's what I'm doing.
Is that the non-dog guy?
You've never watched Blue's Clues in your life?
I've seen it, but I've never really watched it.
This is where you try to act all cool and shit. Meanwhile, you're a closet Blue's Clues fan. You are.
That was after my generation.
Your sister didn't watch Blue's Clues?
I don't think so. She mostly watched like the Disney Channel shows. I remember all those. Like
okay,
Lizzie
fine.
McGuire, Hilary Duff.
They're not dead. Why are you pointing to the sky?
Oh, that's because Hilary Duff was one of my first crushes.
Oh, yeah. Well, then Selena
Lizzie
Gomez.
McGuire. Come on.
All right, whatever. We've gotten way off topic here. It is what it is. You know what I did? They did have a badass promo when Paul Ellering just come out and point like Vanna White. But I thought for what?
I just had the visual of him doing.
Yeah, spinning a letter. That's it. It's like, can I buy a vowel, Paul, with his one white glove? It was fucking stupid. It was like, whatever. That poor bastard. You told us last week on this program that the reason he wasn't fucking there was because he didn't want to travel. And when I saw him,
that was part of it. Yeah, and then Vince. No, the reason he was taken off TV is because Vince said he was too old.
The thing that made me laugh.
Meanwhile, Vince is wrestling at WrestleMania.
So this is the part that makes me laugh, right? Then he's fucking too old to travel, and he got all the way to fucking some bumfuck town to just fucking turn around and point at a goddamn screen. I was just like, that's what he's doing? Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your goddamn mind?
Baby.
He doesn't need
presentation.
You
know how much money he got paid probably just to do that?
Good
I gotta get a gig like that.
Good for him. I hope he wins. I hope he wins by the vowel. That's what I hope
he wins the Royal Rumble?
No, I hope he wins by the vowel, you dick. You fucking dick. Anyway, moving on. Just curiosity. I'm probably wrong, but the Detective Nestle looked like it almost seemed as if Uncle Howdy was in that flash of that their Final Testament package, which I thought was very intriguing.
I didn't notice that. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So I hope that's not the case because I think they're fine without it. They're not supernatural. They don't need to be. They're just the Final Testament.
Charlotte's a little supernatural.
I feel like she was, and now she's not. So I don't know. I mean, she's just we already have voodoo bitches. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna make her on the same show. By the way, they're not gonna do that to her. Whatever. It is what it is. And then moving on, we talked about the fucking hot tag nonsense with an RKO. Moving on to Raw. Let's see.
We should probably talk about the main event.
Yeah, that was kind of a woof job, in my opinion. I was very excited when Indashir showed up with him. I'm like, oh my God. And then they fucking had some good falsies at the end there. They threw out Indashir, and that was it. And then, of course,
there was a lot of gaga.
And again, the cash-in was, sort of there, but didn't happen. And McIntyre got involved, and it was kind of a whole thing, and it worked. because it sets up the match for next week. But I just feel like, again, we talk about this constantly. There's CM Punk and there's Cody Rhodes, and then there's everybody else. And I include Seth Rollins in that conversation. I'm sorry. And honestly, McIntyre might be number 3 before Seth Rollins at this point.
He is. Right now, he is.
And I just feel like that title needs somebody. And I agree with what Danny said last week is we just need somebody else. It doesn't matter who it is at this point. We need somebody else.
I still would have done it where like if somebody like if Jinder wins it and he holds it for a short amount of time just to give it a little intrigue, and then Seth can win it back so he can face Punk. Like that can happen. Like they fucking hot potato shit all the time. I think this was the time to do it, but I think it's just like the Triple H has such a fucking boner for Seth, always has, and trying to build him a legacy, trying to make him feel as important as Roman Reigns, even though he can't even fucking hold his jock. Like it's silly. It's silly.
You know what's funny to me is that Seth Rollins wants to be Roman Reigns so bad. It's just like you said, he's not. He's not CM Punk. He's not Cody Rhodes. Jey Uso might be in the conversation at this point, might be hotter than him. R-Truth is selling more merchandise. McIntyre is fucking killing it. Like there are so many people that do the extra shit better than Seth Rollins. Now in the ring, Seth Rollins, no fucking discussion. Amazing in the ring. Probably best bell-to-bell person they have right now. But that doesn't, even that is, as you tilt your head, might be a fucking discussion point. But I'm just saying, to me, not interested. Not fucking interested at all. Like, I think Seth Rollins and his wife are completely overrated. And you know what? Sorry, folks.
Had to get the Becky dig in there.
Sorry, I just think
didn't even say her name. He had to get it in.
I just think both of them have served their purpose, but are overvalued. That's all I'm saying. They have their purpose. They're just overvalued. That is it. That's it. Moving on to other things that matter. Let me see. Is there anything else on Raw? I think we're good. Unless you have anything else that is in the heat.
I'll just bring it up because there was someone had a funny tweet. It said, Shayna got better reactions during the pandemic than she does now. And I felt, I felt bad, but it's so true. When her and her compadre come out, it is just like, it is the quietest the arena will ever be. Like Natty gets more of a pop than they do. And that's
every time Natty opens her mouth, I'm just like, wow, that no person on the face of this earth makes that sound. And she sounds like that. Unbelievable. It's I've never heard anything like it in my life. It's unbelievable. It's like someone has just like made a noise that will make your ears bleed. I don't know what it is. Every time she goes to get the crowd behind her, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't fucking work. I don't know. And then I was just like, poor Tegan Nox. She can't fucking figure out her hairstyle. She's just fucking trying shit at this point. It's like
I like her hair. It's cool.
It's just like I'm getting stuck with Natty. I might as well try some shit. Like it is what it is. Like it's like you're waiting. You know what I mean? Like she's literally in line waiting for an opportunity. That poor lady is just like I'm
I mean,
saddled.
she's getting on TV every week, which is more than she was doing before. So baby steps.
I don't know. I'm not a fan. Then like Nia Jax has a random promo saying like no one's gonna beat me at the Rumble, and I was like, ooh, cool. So you're not winning. Like, all right, whatever. Fucking throw her ass over the top rope. Whatever.
Who's throwing her out? Because I would assume it would have been Raquel, but it sounds like Raquel ain't doing too good. So
who's that? Last Legend. That's who. She'll body slam her.
Last Legend will be. I don't know if she's gonna be in the Rumble. She was in Iron Survivor though.
I'm just saying, if she can body slam Otis, she can.
Now that's an awesome faction with an awesome entrance. Metal 4 has one of the best entrances in wrestling.
I will say, I do like it.
NXT and haven't seen it. It is fucking so good. It is like such a good entrance. It's so good. Watch it.
I love just the colors that come out and the whole.
Oh, it's perfect.
And I love that metaphor as a metaphor, and like
if you didn't like dislike most of the people in that faction, it'd be like your favorite thing ever because it's like all the Nestle notes.
I love Noam Dar. I do. I don't even know the rest of their names because I just
Oral Medicine. He's a very good wrestler. Jakara Jackson.
Those two are growing on me, but like again, I listen to TJ.
You're a Lash hater. You're anti WNBA. I get it.
Well, most of the people are because nobody shows up to WNBA games. So it is what it is.
They're playing a game at the Garden this year, Adam. You can go.
Woohoo! Is that the Connecticut team?
Yeah, Connecticut Sun.
I was gonna say Connecticut Sun, but I wasn't confident that I knew that. So I it is what it is. But I'll know how many teams are in the WNBA right now? 18, 20? Do you know? That's right, because nobody watches the fucking NBA, the WNBA, excuse me. So, is what it is.
I'm not gonna go that far. People watch it.
Okay, it is what it is. Are you betting on it? Let's put it that way.
I have bet on the Sun made me a lot of money last year because they were a team that wasn't supposed to be good and they were really good. Fun fact about the Sun, their best 2 players are dating. They might actually be married. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
I like that. That's
the epitome of mixing business and pleasure.
That's, you know what? That's pretty cool. Hope
kind of wild.
Kind of hope neither of them get traded though. That would suck.
Yeah, that'd be
pretty awkward. Bad. Yeah. Well, anyway, I don't know how we got on this. You want to get hopeful instead of whatever the fuck we talking about?
Glorious.
You want to go first?
Sure, I'm ready. So I'm gonna blow one of my Rumble hopes from next week.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
You know, because I kind of got inspired by something I saw happen, you know, overseas. So CM Punk comes out at 1, cuts a promo about how happy he is to be in WWE, makes some AEW jokes, and how this is the beginning, how he doesn't care he got number 1. He's inspired to go the distance because nothing can stand in his way. Nothing. There was absolutely nothing that he is scared to throw a punch at. And then you hear, whoa, 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 Jungle Boy, the number 2 entrant in the Royal Rumble, the jackass Jack Perry. He showed up, was it New Japan? So why not? He can sign with WWE. He said Scapegoat, wearing it on his arm because, you know, him and Punk had the altercation. So I can't think of a better way to kick off the 2024 Royal Rumble than with CM Punk and the Jungle Jackass, Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Now, do I want him in WWE? No. But will WWE do a mini CM Punk Jungle Boy program better than AEW ever would? Yes. So I want it. Sign me up. Hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. And, you know, we're all going to be doing the jungle wave in the crowd as that fucking idiot comes out. So there you go.
My hope is very, very, very quick. Is that I've noticed if you read the dirties, and apparently I try not to, but this popped up on my feed a lot, so people are very concerned about it. Seth Rollins might have been injured on Monday night. So I would love to see, this is what I would love to see. I would love to see Seth Rollins have to relinquish the championship, and they do a one-night tournament so that anybody can win. Let's just say Jinder wins the whole fucking thing, right? Jinder wins the fucking tournament. We get a fucking cash in from fucking, you know, our boy Damian Priest, and we're off to the races there with that hope. And then Seth Rollins decides to get just a fucking minute or two of fucking, maybe he'll get better, maybe he'll get better. But then, you know, he wins it back just in time for Mania, and then we have CM Punk and him. Now, we could also go a different route here in which Damian Priest just cashes in and it's him versus Priest, him versus Balor, because I feel like that's where we're headed once Priest wins the championship, because I feel like they're trying very hard to get Balor the World Heavyweight Championship at some point next year, I think. So I'm curious how you feel about either of those situations, JC. Not in love with
first
either.
Point, you reminded me of the rant I wanted to make of how fucking dumb wrestling fans are. Because I obviously read the shit about Seth. I saw that pop up. But I'm sure you watched the match, like I watched the match. And they went out of that way in that match to fucking make a point about the knee and him selling it and him faking like he couldn't do moves because of it. If you've watched wrestling before, you know that's a fucking work. They're setting it up for people to target his knee, God damn it. People are so fucking stupid. Because I assumed they said it was late in the match. So I watched, I'm like, oh, maybe he tweaked it at the end. It'll be obvious. And I'm watching. It was like in the middle of the match. I'm like, he's fucking working, man. Like, come on. Maybe he's dealing with a knee injury and they're selling it. Oh, so they can take him off TV because I've already said he's probably not going to defend at the Rumble. It's a good way to maybe give him a little breather. But I watched, I'm like, good God, man. It's like these people don't have fucking sources. They're watching the fucking show just like we are. They're like, oh my God, someone's injured. So if I type that someone's injured, then I have to be correct. And people will click on it and be like, oh my God, this fucking 3-letter fucking idiot knows so much. No, they're all fucking stupid. They don't know anything. They make shit up. Oh, I thought Mercedes was showing up in AEW a couple weeks ago. What happened there? It didn't. You guys are fucking stupid. Don't pay these idiots. Don't listen to these idiots. Don't read these idiots. Don't circulate these idiots. You're the problem because they're fucking idiots. They're just leeching off of you. Don't be fucking stupid.
That was an all-timer. I'm glad I did that because I really love that rant. So there you go.
It drives me crazy because literally I watched the match. I'm like, oh, I want to see if he got injured. It happened so early. I'm like, people.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question?
Yes.
they're, the three-lettered man and, Goliath Freezer have said something about Mercedes Monet
Yeah,
being
they
an
said she
A.
was going to show up in AEW 3 weeks ago. I'm still waiting.
Do you have an inkling to if they're correct?
I'll put it this way. She was definitely working for them before she got hurt. She wasn't signing there at that point because she had her New Japan deal. But the nice thing about those companies is there are a lot of carryover. She was going to work shows, but that doesn't mean she's going to work for them. So I would assume if she doesn't come back to the mothership, that at some point she's going to show up on their programming because she can show up anywhere because she's one of the bigger, like, non-WWE stars in the world that everyone wants to have her work on their show. So if she's healthy and willing and they pay her enough, she will wrestle at shows. That's what I'll say. But in terms of signing and show up a couple weeks ago, come on, people. Come on.
Because there's a point of contention in my brain where I think to myself, how fucking awesome would it be at the Royal Rumble she just shows
It's
up?
possible. It's
You know what I mean?
possible.
Because then those people that you just did a rant about are wrong. And
Well,
like,
no, it's also like she could show up in AEW in 6 months and they'll take a victory lap like they were right. And I'm like, no, you didn't know anything. You just guessed. Like you're like, oh my God, they signed something. They signed Deonna Purrazzo, and you just assumed it was Mercedes. So then you cover they're so fucking stupid. Like, it's insane, and people give them so much life and so much credence that it's just existing because they're so starved for information. Like, you could start a website tomorrow, Nestlemania, and make it paid. And just we've seen random people do it, and they just start tweeting random things, and wrestling fans will grab onto any little rumor and circulate it, and they'll get blown up within fucking a couple weeks. And then if you guess one thing correct, they'll be like, oh well, this Nestlemania guy, he got it right that Sheamus was returning at the Royal Rumble. There's another one, by the way. Every week I log on to the internet, it's like, Sheamus is returning this week. Hey, Nestlemania, where the fuck is Sheamus? Idiots. They're so fucking stupid.
I don't see Sheamus not coming back. I mean,
he's going to be in the Rumble, but it's like every week I'll say, like, going to return to SmackDown this week as Butch's partner. No, it was Tyler Bate, you fucking idiots.
I don't know. We don't really talk about...
They guess. That's what it is. It's a shitty industry because they literally guess. Every now and then, you're going to be right because there's obvious situations. Here's the thing, Nestlemania. I'll guarantee this. Brock Lesnar's going to show up before we're in the Royal Rumble. I'm going to be right, but I don't have any inside information. It's common fucking sense.
You want to start your own paywall website?
No, I don't want to take people's money. Fuck that. I'm like R-Truth. I'd be giving it away.
It is fascinating, though. It is fascinating because a lot of the people lend credence and give, like you said, life to these people. Like it is the three-lettered man is my public enemy number one. I'm not even going to give him the dime a day with his name, but like, I do not enjoy that gentleman. So I think his sources are full of shit because he doesn't have any. So, but then again, he made that comment about, Parkinson's people, which to this day, I still save the tweet because I just think he's a disgusting human being personally, but that's just me. Moving on. Let's go back to our comebacks. All right.
Don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years. Mine is going to a women's tag team that won a match. I don't know if they've won a match yet on the main roster, but if they have, well, I don't remember it, but they won this one. Indy and Candice are back. And they are healthy. They are ready to go. They defeat Chelsea and Piper as they begin their ascent because it sure seems like Kaden and Katana are going to be fighting champions. We'll talk about them going to SmackDown in a few minutes, but it's nice to see because how do you build titles? We talked about this is something to work on in 2024 is you get credible champions who defend these titles. You have challengers. So what do you got to do? You got to build up the bank. And this is building up the bank of challengers. We're seeing it on Raw. There's multiple tag teams. They're wrestling every week. The more we see them on TV, the more accustomed you get to seeing them and the more they matter to you. So it was nice to see Indy and Candice pick up a win. I'm a big fan of Indy. Candice obviously has a ton of experience, an absolute stud too. So it's nice to see them get a win.
I laughed, like, was it last week or 2 weeks ago when I saw Indy dancing to the fucking Chance and Carter song? Like she was doing the fucking hip swivel thing. And I was just like, this woman cannot help herself. She's so full of charisma. She's got that riz, and I can't help myself. When I see her, I'm just like, man, she is fucking awesome. She is fucking awesome. What?
You said riz. It makes me laugh every time.
Why? Did I use it incorrectly?
The way, whatever you say, it's just funny. And that's what I go, riz.
Got that riz. What? It's a long fucking day. Give me a fucking break.
But yeah, no, I agree. Indy's so charismatic. Love her. Her moment of her winning the title was a fucking awesome moment. I think, like for NXT and everything. She obviously got hurt and it sucks, but she's someone that, like, no matter what they do with her, like you said, it's gonna ooze out of her. She's just likable. There's some people on TV that there's people are just attracted to. They're like that, just everything they do. They're bubbly. They're exciting. They have personality, and she just oozes all of that. So I think there's big potential for her. She's still very young as well. So, but this is a nice way to break her in as in the tag division.
She's just so like odd that I love the humor. Like I love the oddball.
She's that awkward charisma.
Yeah, and it's something you can't even teach it. No, you can't teach that. But like you legit, like when I watch her, I'm just like, this kid could be real, like a huge star. She's got size, she's athletic, and she's funny. Like, and that's the triple threat, right? Like some people don't have all three of those things. You can't teach size, but man, she's got that awkward charisma that I really enjoy. So it's fun. My comeback. You ready for this? The entire fucking mothership of TNA wrestling is back. And it's back big-ish, I guess I could say. The big signing, Dolph Ziggler, hot topic. We talked about
He's here to show the world.
We talked about the Jungle Jackass for a half a second. In my opinion, is Jungle Boy or Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, in your opinion, what moved the needle more?
I mean, Ziggler moves the needle more, but for me personally, like the JC, like mind turning, like diabolical meter, it's fucking Jungle Jackass and his fucking scapegoat band.
I mean, the fact that he's most likely in New Japan because he got fired is so interesting because
I guarantee you it's a fucking gimmick. This is how
I would hope so.
Back, but
I would hope so.
It's well done if so, because whatever. But if he did get fired, it's fucking hilarious, and I hope he's in the Rumble.
We'll find out very quickly if Tony Khan and his fucking pressers gets asked what happened with Jungle Boy, and he says no, not going to talk about it. I'm like, all right, well, there it is. You know, like part of fucking life, right? But to me, Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, we talked about this before we went on air. I'm not a big fan of Moose. I don't see it. I think Moose is a good hand. I think Moose is good, but not world champion, like poster boy guy. Like I just don't see it.
How many world titles does he have now for them?
I think he's like 2 or 3. It's unreal. Yeah. Like, I mean, I have to talk to Dom. I think it might've been 1 or 2, but it's just like, he's a serviceable dude, but when you put him out there and you're like, huh? Like, I don't see it. Like, at least for me, Josh Alexander, I could see him like, okay, like he's a Canadian wrestler. He's got a fucking badass look. And like, you can see it. And like, I've seen parts of Moose when he did like the fucking Moose. I was like, okay, that's catchy.
That was a long time. That was babyface Moose, right?
Yeah. Right. That was babyface Moose.
I feel like he's been a heel for years now.
Yeah. It just feels like I want to know what else goes on with Moose. You know what I mean? Like I want to see more of what he does. It just feels like they've been kind of stagnant with him. And it just doesn't make any sense. Nick Nemeth breathes a hell of a lot more life into TNA. Did they overhype it? To me, I think just a sliver. I think Nick Nemeth will get a lot of new eyeballs on it, though. I think that's pretty cool.
He's a good guy for them to put as the face of their company.
Yeah, I think he's a clearly a big deal to them, but I think they overhyped it, especially like we talked about.
Well, who do you think it was going to be? Because you say overhyped, that means you expected. You expect Brock Lesnar?
No. But like they made an illusion of it being Okada or Mercedes or somebody else. You know what I mean? And like,
so you don't think Ziggler's on their level?
No, absolutely not. I don't think.
I think he is. I think we just got so used to how he finished in WWE that we forget how fucking good this guy is at everything. Nestlemania. He became a plug and play guy because he had already pretty much done everything for them, but. This guy is like in another company, like he's like a top level, like so even if he went to AEW, he'd be a top of the card guy. But it's one of those things. It's like I think people forget how good he was because in WWE we saw him for like 10 years, like forever. It's like anything else, you get sick of it. But this guy, like he's better than anyone they have, and it's not close.
Your boy Bursky says Jan don't even really view him as a
he's
draw
always
at
been
all.
a hater of Ziggler. He's never liked Ziggler.
No, but here's the thing: Nick Nemeth.
Bursky's also not the target audience for Impact. He ain't gonna fucking go and watch TNA.
Well, the problem with TNA, always Impact, TNA, whomever.
It's the fucking like fourth channel. Promotion.
It's the channel.
I'm not the target audience either because I ain't watching it.
It's the channel you can't find. And honestly, you know, like I laughed, I cackled because I was just like, way to get some Riz going here, which was Ash by Elegance.
Stop saying that word.
Ash by Elegance, Dana Brooke fucking shows up and like people are like, oh my God, it's Mercedes. And then it's Dana Brooke. And you're like, of course, it's TNA. LOL.
Mercedes was there up in the
Yeah, well,
rafters.
yeah,
with
exactly.
Bayley.
Because she's fucking being a good friend. I mean, if I had friends like Mercedes, I wouldn't need you. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You don't support me in anything I do. It's great.
Hey, I've been to your wrestling matches.
You,
I joined it in the Nestle Can't Wrestle.
You want to know why you were at that fucking wrestling match? So you could boo me in person.
Yeah,
that is why you went.
For? You're supposed to be a heel. I'm supporting you. You want me to go and cheer you when you're supposed to be a heel? No, you're not supposed to do that. Come on.
No. Anyway, I think here's the thing. TNA had to make some big moves and stuff, and Okada ended up showing up the next night on their TV tapings, which made me laugh because if you know the history of Okada and TNA, they kind of fumbled him like really badly, and he made a joke of it, which was fantastic because that man is like secretly one of the funniest people I've ever seen in my life. Like with what he does with the Young Bucks and everything is hilarious, but it's so fun. All right, here goes. Bertsky says you could get me to tune into Impact for 5 seconds of Mercedes in the stands Bertsky more than you could have did on a match.
He is a massive hashtag Sasha simp. So, yeah, her being anywhere, he would tune in.
Well, here's the thing.
Tune into fucking new fucking Abu Dhabi wrestling if she showed up there. That's a loyal fan. That's what you want.
All I'm saying is TNA had a great showing. They had a lot of buzz from it. Let's see what happens from it now, right? Like everybody loves.
Do you think the buzz will be hard to kill, or do you think it will maintain?
I think it'll be easy to kill, honest to God, because I think it's a honeymoon phase. I'm excited for them right now. Let's see what they do with it. But I think the problem I've had, live wrestling.
I mean, hey, don't rule it out.
No, right? I mean, Jesus, they fucking take everything else.
Luckily, WWE did the smart thing. They're like, we'll just partner with you and we'll get rich.
Yeah. Yeah, so, it's smart. I will say this much though. TNA to me, and I think it's TNA does it. I think AEW does it. I think any promotion does it. They overvalue the ex-WWE stars. They do.
But that's how it should be. Like if you're the best, it's like it's true of any sport. Like a team wins the Super Bowl, you're going to overvalue their players because they were at the tippy top. They've been with the best company. They've worked in front of the biggest crowds. They've done the biggest programs. Dana Brooke has way more experience than almost anyone else in that roster. It doesn't mean she's a better wrestler than them, but she has that experience and like that name recognition where, yes, O'Mani, you came on this program and went out of your way to bring up Dana fucking Brooke. If they debuted a hot young star from New Japan in Impact, you would not bring them up. Because WWE is a bigger draw, is a bigger name. And the idea of bringing the ex-WWE stars is that when Dana Brooke does a program with Jane Schmo, who you're actually trying to build, and people watch it because they know who Dana Brooke is, like, oh, wow, this Jane Schmo is pretty cool. And then you buy in. So, of course they do. Of course you want to bring the ex-WWE people. It makes sense. Anyone who criticizes it is an idiot.
Are you calling me an idiot?
Yeah, I do every week.
I'm not surprised by that comment. I resemble that comment, actually. But that's beside the point.
I resent it.
I resemble an idiot.
Okay.
I said it.
Okay.
It was a joke. Anyway, so very quickly, TNA's got some fucking fire behind them. Let's see what they do.
Does Heath still wrestle for them?
Does who?
Heath.
As far as I know, no. But I'll check with my boy Dom because Dom.
Maybe I just have a hope for next week then.
I mean, the
problem, I'm just one man.
The problem I have with TNA and Impact is that they just don't know what to do. Like they've been putting on a lot of great matches. Like here's the thing. I watched their Fatal 4-Way tag match. I think JC, you should go out of your way to go watch that. I think
so. Dom,
I think you would watch
some
that.
TNA tag matches because they have had some pretty good tag teams.
Yeah,
and I didn't. My boys show up there.
Grizzle Young Vets, baby.
Yeah, my boys. So
yeah. I think you should. But here's the thing, right? Like they overvalue, maybe, perhaps. I don't think so. I think the Grizzle.
No, these guys are legit good. Right, AEW should fucking sign them because they're actually a good tag team, and maybe they'd actually use tag teams.
I personally think, and I'm not a huge Grizzly. I mean, I see the value of the Grizzly Young Vets, but they're not my guys. I think they're on the same level. They could be on the same level, put it that way, excuse me, as FTR.
FTR is the best tag team in the world. That's pretty high praise.
I think if done properly, FTR versus the Grizzlies Young Vets would fucking that.
It'll happen. And that to me, like, that's what I want to see at their fucking Europe show. Like the fucking,
Right.
that's what I want to. I want that match there because you could have Mo fucking come. Liverpool, stand up for Zach Gibson. Like I don't know how much of NXT UK you watch back in the day, but when it first launched, I watched a lot of it, and fucking Zach Gibson cut the best promos every fucking week, just fucking railing. So fucking good. And obviously with this fucking last year and the fucking weird ass Joe Gacy thing, you don't get to see it, but I mean, when they give this guy the mic and let him unleash, there aren't too many better in terms of fucking just garnering heat, period. The guy is so good. James Drake is what he is. He's a good number 2 for Zach, but you know, we know who the star is in that relationship.
So anyway, Impact's very no longer with us, and now we know that TNA is back. I'm curious to see what they do with it. But I think
the same thing they've been doing.
But I think the problem will be is that they will be number 3 or 4, you know, depending on who you ask. So it's hard to overcome that, but I think having Nick Nemeth does help a lot. But unfortunately, with the bank account that Tony Khan has, he's always going to be number 2 in more ways than one. So it is what it is. He's the shit, I'm telling you. So anything else you want to do? You want to get to the big old finish?
Big old finish, Nestlemania, and we're going to get to AW in a moment, but on SmackDown, we have Women's Tag Team Championship match. Kaden and Katana take on the Fire Bitches of Alba and Isla. I'm assuming Kaden and Katana are going to retain, and I'm surprised they're doing this match with no lead-up.
This upset me in so many ways because I heard it on commentary before they showed the match graphic. I don't even know if they showed a match graphic, to be honest with you. But I
saw it on Twitter, honestly.
It made me upset in so many ways because they cursed the tag titles and they kept showing the Chelsea and Piper thing and they never fucking paid it off. And I was just like, what the fuck? Because those women to me have a great fucking finish, a great fucking look. They all can fucking work. And I was just like, this makes perfect sense. Put them on the fucking show. Now, maybe there's something we don't know. That's usually what happens because I don't know shit, but they are fucking awesome.
From what I gathered, it seemed like one of them had to work on their like work visa issues. I think that's why it kind of happened, but it's good to have them back. But it's like I would have rather had them, you know, come out like after Kaden and Katana win a match and like do something weird to kind of set it up instead of it just being booked.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my one thing. I'm happy it's happening because, like you said, I love both these tag teams. I'm excited, but I just wish there was a little setup for this one.
You can't tell me they can't go back to their NXT nightclub and have something fucking weird happen with some blood and shit. Come on. I could think of 14 instances that'd be fucking cool to have them fucking do something in a random nightclub, voodoo curse them, and then fucking we're off to the races. There's the fucking graphic. We'll see you next week. Not even fucking scratching the surface of what I could think about. It's just, it bothers me because those goddamn tag titles could do so much for so many fucking people, and they just drag them through the fucking mud. Ugh.
They've been, hey, you know what? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We're 2.5 weeks into 2024, and those tag titles have been perfectly fine. So maybe they're using the match to set up something more. We'll find out, but yeah, no, I would have liked some lead up. Yeah, your dance moves are not as good at Kaden Katana's. Happy birthday, by the way. Birthdays with JC. Katana Chance had a birthday this week. Happy birthday to her. We have the KO show featuring Logan Paul in Nestlemania.
I think it's a fun little thing that they did with the if you beat me with the cast on, you're not really a man. I love that aspect of it. But then I'm just like, okay, well, then he's fucking clearly not going to get his fucking chance unless he takes the cast off. And then clearly Logan Paul's just going to hurt his arm and then he'll win, which is whatever. It'll be fun.
Logan Paul will use his cast to win.
I will say this much. I cannot wait for the KO being on Logan Paul on his podcast after they have a match, because that's going to be fucking fun.
It will be good.
That seems like what he does. He fucking faces somebody, and then a couple of weeks later, they're on this podcast. So like he gives away the business like every fucking time. But I don't care because KO is fucking awesome.
It's good for the business though, because more people hear about it. Right. And if I guarantee you, they're going to be new Kevin Owens fans who watch that show after that. But we also have Nestlemania, the opposite of fun, a contract signing with 4 people.
What?
They have a fatal 4-way contract signing.
What?
You heard me. I'm not going to say it again. We'll move to Raw. We have a Punk Cody face-to-face. I mean, that's will probably be the lead next week. I am more than chubbed up. How do you get more than chubbed up? Like, I took Viagra and then took Blue Chew and then took Cialis. I took them all at once. I got a triple fucking decker and I'm stuck like this for the rest of my life. I'm so excited about Cody and Punk.
I was fine until you said I'm stuck like this forever. He's gonna be like, he's gonna be
walking around. My back's already bad, but this sent it
anyway. I just got this hilarious visual of you standing up when Cody's music comes out with whoa, and you're fucking raging cock. Just fucking like, yeah, give it to me. It's just like you fucking unbelievable. Fucking whoa. Oh my god. God damn it. Like, so yes, that'll be a lot of fun. I think there's gonna be a lot of give and take there. Let's see if they make an AEW reference. We'll see.
I have a hunch they'll make a few.
Okay, over under more than 3.
I'll set the line at 2.5, and I'll say over because I think 3 might be the number.
I'll go under. I think they're gonna have to do a cheeky kind of thing because he can't talk about a lot. So I'll say maybe 1 reference from AEW. Maybe.
All right. Well, we have matches as well in Nestlemania. We have Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest, Ivy Nile versus Valhalla, and Chad Gable versus Ivar.
Does that count as a meat match of the week?
Well, I'll have to watch it to find out. I couldn't give Ivar and Tozawa meat match of the week because there wasn't much meat. The meat ended pretty quickly.
It was the fast food match.
It was a very undercooked meat. It wasn't even rare. It was raw.
It was sushi. Sushi
That's
match
fish.
of the week. They can have some meat in there, can't they?
I mean, you can, but it's fish based.
So what's raw meat?
You ever go to the store in the fucking meat aisle? That's raw meat. You pick it up, it's raw. You got to cook it.
People eat raw meat though.
If they're desperate, but that's how you can get sick at them.
Who the fuck?
I wouldn't go on this podcast with our massive following being like, you can eat raw meat. We don't want people getting salmonella and sick because of your little offhanded comment, not understanding that you should cook the meat.
Clearly, I'm wrong. Okay, don't eat meat, folks. Don't eat meat.
No,
be vegetarian.
Eat meat. Just cook it properly.
Be vegetarians. Go get some gas station sushi. That'll be
that's
good
your
for
prerogative, but as a fucking, I guess more meat for me. Save the cows for JC.
Yeah, move over. What was the other fucking thing you said? Sorry.
Maxine, Valhalla, Ivy Nile, and then Damian Priest and
So Mac and Priest is going to be good. That'll be awesome. I think Ivy Nile having to work with Valhalla is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
I hope it's a squash.
It better be a fucking squash. I hope she fucking sends her into a fucking another stratosphere so we never have to fucking see Sarah again on television.
It's coming.
I can't. There's nothing. I don't know.
She's a good side piece for the Viking Raiders, but yeah, I don't really love seeing her wrestle.
Bertsky says cooking meat at a nice medium, so we'll see. I like my meat at medium. Never eat a raw steak. Never eat any raw meat in my life. Don't do it. It's terrible. But I'm not a. Are you a medium well guy? Are you a medium?
No, I'm medium rare.
Medium rare. Okay.
When I go out, I order medium because if you order medium, you usually get medium rare.
I'll tell you this much. You know exactly who I'm talking about. But I once went out with a friend who he likes to make a scene every time we go out. And he told the waiter that he likes his meat to kiss the grill. That's it. Kiss the grill.
I mean, I do want to feel it kind of squirming when it goes down my throat. Not raw, but rare.
That's disgusting.
I want to feel it's still alive. I want to feel like my stomach take the life out of it. The final breath.
I don't think I'll ever eat meat after that. I'll be honest. I might become a vegetarian. I'm already skinny enough as it is. I should.
Like I said, more cows for JC. Moo moo.
If anybody takes anything away from this entire podcast, don't eat raw meat ever. It's fucking bad. Anyway, what was the other part of this fucking raw we have to talk about?
I don't know. We'll go to AEW. We have a world title match between Samoa Joe and Hook.
Oh my God. All right. So we can get into the AEW portion of our program. Cap can stop listening if he wants. I don't give a shit.
No, Cap likes to shit on AEW. That's his favorite part of wrestling. So he's turning us up.
All right. So here's the thing. Fucking, they come out and like you said last week, what about Swerve? And the fucking Swerve and him have a fucking stare down with Samoa Joe, whatever. And then fucking Hangman Page comes out with his fucking full Manchu, which looks awesome, by the way. And I fucking love it. And it's just like, we're not done. And then he looks at Joe and he's like, I haven't thought about this title and I need to think about it more. And it's like, well, stop thinking and fucking start doing. And then fucking out of nowhere, those two fucking leave for some reason. Joe fucking start talking about how he's like, no more fucking pussy comments on fucking Twitter. And someone on Twitter was like, tell your boss, which I thought was fucking hysterical. And then the fucking Hook signal comes up out of fucking nowhere. And he's like, 1 week, man, 1 week. And when I watched that, I just went, what the fuck am I watching? What the fuck am I watching? Explain to me who thought that would be a good fucking idea. Honest to God, because Samoa Joe looks good with that belt. Absolutely does. He can talk us into shit. But the minute that match happens, I don't give a fuck about what Hook's gonna
You know
do.
how boring that match is gonna be? It's gonna be all holds.
I don't. The thing is there's nothing that Hook can do. Like doing it, he already suplexed Big Bill, so I don't think he's not going to suplex Samoa Joe.
Every time I hear Big Bill, the first thing I think is what a stupid fucking name.
I think of Big Bill. I think of Bill and Bob's roast beef. Like that's where I go in my head. Which now we're back to meat, but that's beside the fact. And by the way, Bursky says it sounds like backcracker. Anything under medium rare, you're a vampire. All right, well there you go. But no, look, I don't give a fuck about anything Samoa Joe's doing. I don't give a fuck about Hook. I love watching Swerve. I love watching Hangman. Give me that as a world title match, you know. But and the other thing too, we can talk about this very quickly before we talk about everything else because you're gonna say Young Bucks are gonna talk. Sting picked the Young Bucks. Everybody is fucking hands up in the air, getting upset that the Young Bucks are going to be the final opponents of Sting. And if you listen to what Sting said, I'm too old to be wrestling singles matches. He fucking almost killed himself and Hobbs through that fucking table last Wednesday. And I was just like, I'm so glad that Sting is finally retiring because Sting doesn't get told no. And that guy is a fucking maniac. Like, I've loved Sting for a very long time. A very long time. I was a little Stinger. Love fucking Crow Sting. I think Joker Sting from TNA is one of my favorite fucking characters that nobody fucking talks about. He's fucking awesome. I love Sting, but he makes me nervous every time he steps through those ropes.
You get nervous when prime athletes like Mello and Theory do a move, so of course you're getting fucking nervous when geriatric fucking is doing dumb shit.
You've taken. I've watched you take bumps before. You know how it feels.
Oh
man.
Oh yeah.
I took you.
In Nestlemania, I'll say this about Sting. AEW has done him right because he barely wrestles, and when he does, it actually feels kind of fucking special, and it makes our boy Dom happy. So yeah, I don't give a fuck about this. Honestly, I obviously wanted to see him and Darby, but I obviously understand like you probably couldn't. That match probably wouldn't have been good. Darby would have been just like throwing himself around to protect Sting, but whatever. Like if you're gonna go out as a tag team, then the Young Bucks makes sense. I guess they've never done it. I'm assuming they've never wrestled at this point. But it's one of those things like I'm not going to care much about it. I'll care about the novelty of it being Sting's last match, I guess. But I just like, why do we need Ric Flair alongside for the show? Like, I don't need that.
It's
like,
the Greensboro Coliseum. That's why.
I don't care. But why is he there every week? Go away, dude. You're not part of the posse. It's Sting and Darby, not Sting, Darby, and fucking woo.
It fucking bothered me so much because somebody's going to fucking defend it and it's fine. But like, we nitpick WWE in this program too. We nitpick everybody and everything. We don't have tribalism here on the Jobber Knocker. There are things at AEW that we fucking love. Sky Blue, clearly, and fucking other people too. Like,
we're gonna get to a JC match of the week in a few minutes.
We love
actually. There's two. Oh my god, I forgot about this match.
But there are things on AEW that are fucking awesome. They just are. But unfortunately, the most of what they show is fucking dog shit. WWE has some dog shit too. We talk about on this program, so we don't have tribalism here. But we do talk a majority of WWE because there's more to talk about. But
and more people care about WWE. It's just
it's just a fact. You're right, absolutely. But the thing that bothered me more, that was like fucking Ric Flair gets in that ring, gets physical with Hobbs and was it Takeshita? And I was just thinking to myself, and he was fucking lighting them up, and I'm just like, here we go again with fucking Ric Flair, fucking trying to do something, and these new guys are gonna get the rub from Ric Flair, and fucking, it's just like, no,
you don't get rub when you're Will Hobbs, who's a fucking powerhouse, getting beat up by a fucking 90-year-old who's had 30 heart attacks.
I don't know. That always puts a bad taste in my mouth because I fucking love Hobbs. I think Hobbs is awesome.
I love Hobbs too. I think he should. I think he's a fucking world champion.
But they don't do him well. They don't do him right.
They're getting there at least. Putting him with your boy the Thumb is at least a good move because he's taken seriously. Except for
is he though?
Yeah, not when he's getting beat up by Ric Flair. That's bad timing. But you know what I mean.
That upset me. There were so many things that fucking upset me about fucking Daly's place too. But that's beside the fucking
point. That's stupid. And the way I love how now whenever Jericho comes out, they just blast his music as loud as they can so you can't hear the NDA chants. That fucking piece of shit. Get him out of here. I don't have him registered, though. I do have a 6-man tag for you, Nestlemania. The Bang Bang Gang taking on the Mogul Embassy. Who cares? But we're going to get to the 2 JC matches of the week because Nestlemania, we have a Christian Cage and we have a Rhodes going one-on-one for the TNT title. Christian Cage versus Dustin Rhodes, the Natural. I am so excited for this. Fucking Gold Dust, Dustin Rhodes. he doesn't have bad matches, and he's fucking old, but it doesn't matter. He's so fucking good. That Rhodes DNA flows through his veins. He is a fucking stud. I am excited for this match.
I think that everybody in AEW should sit behind the monitor and watch this match.
100%.
If this isn't the match of the week next week, I'd be fucking shocked because, like you said, Dustin Rhodes does not have bad matches, and Christian Cage is on a fucking monumental run. And you look at that and you go like, and the last week with the promo saying like, you know, people call your dad a legend. Funny how nobody calls you a legend, Dustin. I was like, this guy doesn't even have to fucking
another
try.
dead dad.
Yeah, it was just like, this guy doesn't have to try. And like the whole like patriarch, matriarch, my son, and like fucking Luchasaurus kill switch, like it all fucking he is dragging people kicking and screaming into fucking watchable segments. It's unreal what he's doing.
It's so true because it is one like this is one of the like shines of AEW. One of the shines in wrestling is this run that Christian is on. And man, this is just gonna be good. It's a simple one-off, but it's like Dustin is so good. It makes sense. I can't wait. But Nestlemania, the other JC match of the week, Anna Jay's wrestling on Dynamite, taking on the newest signee, Deonna Purrazzo. This match was just added by the Cocaine Cowboy right before we got in the air. I'm excited for it. We got a peach match, baby.
It's gonna be fuzzy, that's for sure. I will say this much: Deonna Purrazzo is a stud in the ring. Just stay away from the mic. Then we'll get to Mariah May facing her.
You're just such a hater. You don't need to bring that up. Just focus on the excellence we're gonna see between the Virtuosa and fucking Anna Jay, who's a stud, getting so much more time again. It's good to have her back.
Anything else on AEW you want to talk about? Or you want to get the fuck out of here?
I think that's it.
Thank Christ. Anything 6 or 8 man, fucking
the Bang Bang Gang and the Mogul Embassy, but not the good parts.
If they make the Bang Bang Gang team up with fucking the Acclaimed,
I mean that's what they're doing, and it seems like they actually are gonna. I think that might be for the Ring of Honor tag titles too.
Oh
6 man.
God damn it! Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, no, here's the thing. Here's the thing why it's probably the kiss of death, because Mogul Embassy was on TV. I don't know what show, one of their 3 shitty shows. And I actually watched it because I like watching Prince Nana dance and shit. And Brian Cage is cool. I don't know anything about the other 2 guys, but they made this promo about how they're the greatest 6-man tag teams in Ring of Honor history. I'm like, well, that means you're losing your next match. And here comes the Bang Bang Gang. So there you go.
I want AEW to do well. I really do. But there's 65% of that fucking roster that needs to get cut. 65% of it needs to get cut.
Yeah, it's fine. You got to put somebody on Rampage.
I want Rampage to go away. I really do.
I just don't watch it. There is one good thing about Rampage every week, Nestlemania. It's usually
talked about the
Anna Jay match. Exactly. And Collision's kind of getting like that too. There's like 2 good things on Collision. It's Julia Hart's entrance and Christian Cage, whatever he does.
Just make people exclusive to certain things. That way you got to tune in.
Well, it's weird because they still kind of tease that it is. And it's like Daniel Garcia did a promo with FTR. And he's like, maybe I got to be on this show more often. I'm like, there's not a brand split. You're on this show all the time. You were just in the fucking Collision League in that fucking Continental shitbag tournament where you're on this fucking show every week. What the fuck are you talking about?
They need to have people exclusive because that's the only way you're going to get rid of it.
The problem is without CM Punk, it's a lot harder to do.
You could have somebody on there that people care about, right? Like Swerve right now is fucking red hot, right?
Yeah, but Swerve needs to be on the Wednesday show because he needs to be near the fucking Samoan Snore. MJF's gone for a while in Nestlemania. So they're down. They're down another major star. Like Adam Cole can't wrestle right now either. He just sits in a fucking chair with his fucking bag of goons behind him.
I'm not going anywhere for a while. Yeah, I know. Grab a fucking Snickers and sit in a chair maniacally for fucking 6 months before you fucking do something. You know what's funny? Jack Perry looks kind of like he's Adam Cole's brother now with the fucking beard and everything. Like they do.
Buff Adam Cole.
Well, Adam Cole ain't buff, and neither is Jack Perry. Like neither of them are any impressive physiques at all. So that's pot meeting kettle, I know, but it is.
Hey, their ladies seem to think so, and those are some pretty popular ladies with the men.
So someone does make a good point on Twitter. They said, if Jack Perry's in Japan, does that mean they broke up?
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe there's your chance.
If maybe the actual dirt sheets, maybe this is some information they could actually figure out.
Maybe you should shoot your shot then.
I'm gonna swerve in my ride.
Okay. Okay, I think we're good. You want to get
Yeah.
the fuck out of here?
I have nothing else to talk about with AEW.
All right. Anyway, thanks for listening and watching the Jobber Knocker podcast. We'll be back next week with 30 hopes for the Royal Rumble. And we'll see you next time with more Jobber Knockery.
Yeah.